She's a woman of mystery.
You can dance. You can dance. You can dance. You can dance.
A woman of surprises.
What are you doing here?
A woman named Susan.
Come on.
Orion Pictures presents Desperately Seeking Susan.
Susan! Susan! Susan!
My God, we all thought you were dead.
No, just in New Jersey.
Madonna is Susan. The hottest voice in rock is now the freshest face on film. Every man is desperate to have her. One woman is desperate to be her.
Everybody I know is desperate except you.
I'm desperate.
You?
But someone is desperate to kill her.
Killed?
Come on.
Dead?
If he can figure out who she is.
I'm not Susan. I don't believe it. I'm a housewife and I live in Fort Lee, New Jersey.
You never stop, do you?
Starring Rosanna Arquette as Roberta.
You know, Garrett, between you and me, what do you really know about Roberta?
She doesn't even like sex that much. It's impossible.
She'll love it.
You can dance. You can dance.
And Madonna as Susan.
No more dead bodies, okay?
I'll see what I can do. Bye-bye, Bruce. It was fun, huh?
Maybe you were the killer.
You were with this guy?
Come on.
I was breathing when I left.
Get into the groove, boy. You got to prove your love to me. Yeah. Get up on your feet, yeah. Step to the beat. Boy, what will it be?
Got a quarter? Wanna play?
Desperately Seeking Susan. A life so crazy it takes two women to live it.
Susan, welcome to Woman's Hour. Good morning.
Thank you. Happy to be here. I just wanted to add one thing about relationships.
Oh, yes.
I've actually been in a relationship for 36 years with a Welshman, and whose mother used to listen to this show maybe 50 or more years ago in Cardiff. So tying it all together.
It's all good. It's all come back together and the relationship's still going. Okay, that's good. Good to hear.
Yes.
Talking then about, looking back, I suppose, 40 years on, nearly 40 years on, what do you remember about receiving the script of Desperately Seeking Susan?
Well, the first thing I remember was that it had my name in the title. So I didn't put my name in there. It came with that. But that certainly grabbed my attention. But I think what was so interesting about it was that it was funny, but also so female. I mean, the whole package was really unique for its time because, as you said, starring two women, written by a woman, produced by two women. And the person that actually enabled us to get the money, the financing, was one of the few women at a studio who had the power to actually greenlight this movie. So all those things kind of came together in a wonderful way.
And did that affect the making of it, do you think, in any way? Like, how did that impact? Because I wonder if you may have felt you were really doing something quite renegade while you were doing it.
Yeah, I think we did. I think also the power dynamic was different. I mean, I was very nervous because I came out of the New York independent film community. I had made a low budget indie film called Smithereens that had gotten some attention, which is why I got the script for Desperately Seeking Susan. But I was very nervous to do my first Hollywood movie because I had heard such horror stories about indie filmmakers, especially women, who suddenly had these, heavy-handed producers breathing over their shoulder, and they could no longer kind of get their vision across or do the thing that made them interesting in the first place. So I was very nervous that that kind of power structure would get in the way of making the movie, and it did not.
And it went on to connect with so many people, especially women. There's that great tagline, which I was reminding myself of. It's a life so outrageous it takes two women to live it, exploring two different worlds. You've got suburban New Jersey and fantasy downtown New York, and a relatively unknown Madonna in there.
That's right. I mean, when we started the movie, it was really Rosanna Arquette that helped us to get the financing because she was an up-and-coming young Hollywood starlet. And we auditioned a lot of other actresses for the role of Susan before we came to Madonna, people who are now quite famous, like Melanie Griffith and who else? Ellen Barkin.
And what was
Jamie
it?
Lee Curtis. Sorry.
Oh, okay. No, I was just going to say, what was it about Madonna? What did she have?
Well, she had authenticity. I mean, she felt like the real thing. The other thing about her is she actually lived down the street from me at the time. We were both living in Soho, and I knew about her from just being involved a little bit in that New York downtown music scene. So I had heard of her, and MTV it was the early days of MTV. And I had seen one of her very early videos. I think it was Borderline. And I just knew the camera liked her. She knew how to flirt with the camera. And that X factor, I just hoped I could take that and sort of capture that on celluloid.
And actually, during the filming of it and this time, her star did rise really quickly, didn't it?
It was unbelievable to watch that happen, because when we were filming, it was a 9-week shoot. And the first day we were filming down in the East Village, no one was paying attention to us. You know, we were just another film crew on the street. People would come, walk by, glance in our direction, and then continue on. By the end of this shoot, 9 weeks later, we actually needed security because her star had, skyrocketed, and no one could have anticipated that. But it certainly, it was great because working with her in the beginning, there was no entourage.
Yes.
I just got to work with her. It was a very intimate relationship. There weren't, personal assistants or agents or managers hanging around the set. But by the time the movie was released, I guess her Like a Virgin album had come out, and she was enormous. And obviously that helped with the release of the film.
Is it right you directed the music video for Get Into the Groove?
Well, the music video is really composed of clips from the film that I helped to edit together.
Okay. That was a cool thing also, I suppose, to have within this, because it's such an iconic song and people have all their memories attached to that. But you've also directed many things over the years, but a pilot of a certain show, Sex and the City, just thinking about your connection to New York.
Yes. That was kind of interesting because when I read the script initially, I knew the script was different and funny and sharp. And of course, I loved the idea that it was about 4 female friends. Because the film really, its success is really about the friendship between the women. But again, no one could have imagined, certainly I didn't, that it would become that iconic over the years. I can't predict those things.
No, I'm sure you can't. But I suppose when you first see something, you have that feeling, I imagine, or something's there.
Well, you know instinctively whether it gets you or not, whether you like it. But, not everything passes the test of time. I mean, back to Desperately Seeking Susan for a moment, there was no way I could have predicted 38 years ago when we made this that I would be talking to you right now about it. You just... you try to make something that's of its time and that kind of has its finger on the pulse, like Sex and the City as well. But you never know whether it's really going to hold up, whether those things will be valid and meaningful for a younger audience that wasn't even born when the film was made.
What do you think it was about the representation of those characters in Desperately Seeking Susan that has meant we're having this conversation nearly 40 years on?
I think it's because it has a theme that's universal and timeless and we can connect with. The idea that within all of us, there's another person that's wanting to get out your kind of authentic self, the part of you that wants to be more adventurous or bolder or just have a more vivid life, whether you're a man or a woman. And that's what the movie's about, sort of getting in touch with your inner Susan.
What's your inner Susan like, Susan?
Well, my inner Susan is a combination of the two characters of Roberta and Susan. I mean, I grew up in suburban Philadelphia, so I could have very easily have been Roberta, the housewife, easily. But then I escaped from the suburbs and moved to New York City in the mid-'70s because I wanted to be a part of something that I thought was more exciting and artistic and creative. And so there's that part of me which relates to the Madonna character.
That's why, I suppose, as you say, people they can find a bit of themselves in both and they want to go that way. Do you think you pushed your Madonna character as far as you could in New York in the 70s, the 80s?
Well, I think she became representative of that specific time period. I mean, when you look at her attitude, but also the clothing and just the whole style of the film, I think it's very much of its time. And yet, culture cycles around, so some of those things feel very modern today.
Yes, they do. And also for you, it must have been the whole time you were referred to as a female director, a woman director. Those things at least seem to have changed in some ways, but I don't know what your take is.
Well, I think it's changed a lot, not so much in terms of big Hollywood feature films, but certainly in terms of television. I mean, I think one of the things about streaming is that there are a lot more women who are directing episodic TV, and it's not at all unusual to see the title directed by followed by a woman's name. When I went to film school, I went to NYU Film School in the mid-'70s, I didn't have any female role models. There were a few women I knew in Europe who were directing movies, but in the United States, Barbara Streisand, and Elaine May, but that was it. I couldn't think of anyone else who was directing a feature film.
Susan Seidelman, good to talk to you. As you say, you couldn't have predicted this, but nearly 40 years on, a new limited edition Blu-ray box set, first time UK release of Desperately Seeking Susan, not a film you only took because your name was in it, is out this week. Very good to talk to you and lovely to hear some of your memories.
You can dance for inspiration.